Yeah, I mean,
I know that's much more of a past tense thing, and G4 has gone in many places that you probably don't agree with today.
I mean,
but
we left the station about 5 or 6 years ago in the U.S. Once our contract was up. And I wanted to go on to do video games live anyway, so it kind of worked out the timing there. And yeah, G4 kind of got out of the game business, really. I mean, they started as a game network.
And now they're trying to be Spike TV.
It's a lot of cops and stuff like that, so the gaming is very light these days. Electric Playground started way before 10 years before G4 was even thought of. We'd been on the air. In fact, we're in the Guinness Book of World Record as the longest running video game television show.
Really?
Doing it over 15 years. We started in 1994 is when we started. The creator of the show is Victor Lucas, and he's the executive producer. And so he interviewed me. He was doing the pilot for it, and he interviewed me at E3 when we first met, because he had known who I was through magazines and stuff. And he put it was his idea and concept, and he said, "Hey, do you want to host the show?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And so we and then from there we kind of created the show together. And then at the end of the show, we did this thing where we reviewed games together, and it was funny because initially Vic. I always wanted Vic to come on screen with me, like, because we had this good kind of good cop, bad cop kind of vibe, and we loved a lot of the same stuff. But then we were opposites. We were like any two friends, just talking about video games. We didn't have any scripts or anything like that. We just kind of turned the camera on and started talking, and I think people really associated with that. It was.
Kind of the Siskel and Ebert of
a little bit,
video
yeah,
games.
Exactly. And so at the end of Electric Playground, we would have this thing called Reviews on the Run, where we would do game reviews for like the last 5 minutes of the show, and that was everybody's always favorite part of the show. So we decided to create our own show, a second show, out of that. So that's kind of in the U.S. it was called Judgment Day on G4.
Yeah.
They changed the name, but the show is really called Reviews on the Run, and it's
really
it airs daily in Canada now,
so
every single day.
And those are all reruns. You still do Judgment Day, or
I every once in a while, because I'm on the road like 320 days a year
Video
with
Games
Video Games
Live.
Live, doing like 60 shows a year. But every once in a while, I'll do one or two reviews as like a guest reviewer, but they have like 5 or 6 reviewers.
Yeah, because G4 in Canada is a much different
It's
stage.
much different. It's much better.
Yeah,
it's
because
a much
I
better
mean, like,
gamer related.
yeah, and there's a lot of shows that still exist before Tech TV and G4.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. It was like the old G4 and Tech TV. That's what G4 is like in Canada.
yeah. Too bad we don't get that here.
I know. It's crazy. Dinosaur, that's funny. Yeah, the Screwattack guys. Gosh, I'm trying to think where I met them too. But I think they wanted to come to one of our shows in Dallas, because they're based out of Dallas, and they wanted to. And so I met those guys, Craig, and we did a funny thing at Video Games Live in Dallas, where they pretended to get kicked out of the show or this and that. Actually, it wasn't that much of a pretend, because the Dallas Symphony didn't want them to film certain things, so but they dramatized it a little bit more, which was funny. And then and I've just been buddies with Craig ever since, and they come to every Video Games Live that we do in that area, and they've done some stuff. And so when they were doing they were doing this thing where they review old games, and they were doing Color a Dinosaur, which is funny. It actually wasn't the first game I worked on. It was one of the first, but the very first game was Prince of Persia. But it was the first NES game I ever worked on, and it was just the worst game ever. And I had about 24 hours to do all the music and sound for it on a system that I never worked on before ever. And so Craig called me up. He's like, "Hey, I got this idea about getting you on Screwattack." because I'm doing this color dinosaur thing. Can you pretend to call me up and get all mad at me and stuff? So that was cool, man. Screwattack's awesome. I couldn't believe like how many hits and how many there's like 800-900 comments, that were left on that one color dinosaur thing. So it's cool, man. They got a great community and a great fan base. So yeah. Not really. I had to contact
because
them.
they took your voice out of you were Earthworm Jim, weren't you?
Doug Tenaple and stuff.
Yeah.
They Interplay. I contacted Interplay when I heard that the games were coming out because I own the music.
Yeah.
So they don't own any of the music or anything. I do, and so they were putting the games out without my permission and stuff. And
That's weird.
They took out all, and I said, hey, I'll give you all the sound effects. I'll give you all updated music and stuff, and they just had no interest. They just very strange, and they were using my music without permission. So we had to try to take some legal action and try to get them to pay on something that they're using illegally, and that's where we're at with that. So it's a really strange company over there.
Yeah, it's really weird because
definitely no respect for
because they HD'd the music, but they didn't use your PC version, which had the highest quality.
Exactly.
They used the Genesis, so it still
not
didn't
even.
sit.
It wasn't even the Genesis.
Which version was it?
I don't know. Somebody redid it all.
So they didn't even use the best quality video sound.
Correct.
It doesn't really work at all for being an HD version.
Interplay just doesn't have any respect for the artist.
Yeah.
And that's too bad because Earthworm Jim's such a great franchise.
And that's what a lot of
And to see it, it's just too bad. Too bad people in the industry are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Advent Rising, we used 90 pieces in the orchestra and about 120 people in the choir. So there's all in total about over 200 people for that score. That was one of my favorites.
Are you disappointed that the trilogy of Advent Rising never
I am.
came to fruition?
I am. The Advent Rising I thought was a great storyline. I love the cinematics. I love the characters. I loved I loved working on the project. It's a shame that the game didn't sell a lot of units. But that being said, the guy who, one of the big creators and writers of Advent Rising, a guy by the name of Donald Mustard, and he has a new company called Chair Entertainment.
Yeah.
And so they're
partnered
working with
Gears.
Orson Scott Card again.
Yeah.
So they're talking about doing maybe an Ender's game or some other new properties. So if you're a big fan of Advent Rising, you want to just follow on the website or whatever, Chair Entertainment. Follow them over the internet because those are a lot of the people who worked on Advent, or at least the creation of the storyline and the characters are. So who knows if they've always talked about possibly getting the rights back to Advent Rising and doing another one. So it's not totally dead. You never know. Maybe in 5 years from now there'll be another Advent Rising because it's something that Donald really loved and put a lot of work and effort into with Orson Scott Card. So it'd be cool to see that again. No. I still work on some games. I got a big game coming out for the Wii this fall called what's the new name of it? What's it called? Flip. Yeah, Flip's
I've heard
Twisted
about that.
World.
Yeah,
Flip's Twisted World because it used to be called Up and Down. So I was trying to remember the new name. But yeah, Flip's Twisted World on the Wii. I did earlier this year. Sonic and the Black Knight was released. I did 4 songs for that game. Sega Japan called me up. They said, "Hey, can you write some music for Sonic, the new Sonic game?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So that was an honor. I'm working on a Star Trek, a classic, the original Star Trek, an iPhone game. So I have to take smaller projects now
because of Video Games
Live.
Of
Video Games Live, doing, like I said, doing 50, 60 shows a year all over the world is a huge task. And we got the PBS special coming out this year.
When
DVD,
is that?
Blu-ray. The PBS special launched last
Yeah.
week, July 31st. You can go to videogameslive.com and hit the PBS logo, and it shows all the air times, every couple weeks.
The DVD and Blu-ray.
DVD and Blu-ray is available, and second album is available through PBS exclusively right now,
Okay.
and then it'll be hitting stores on October 19th.
Okay.
It'll be hitting all the stores and iTunes.
And you have Video Games Live at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, Conseco
Fieldhouse.
Fieldhouse, which is that's where the Indiana Pacers basketball team plays. So it's like a 15,000 seat venue, and so we're playing there. It's with the Indianapolis Symphony. It's our third time back here at Gencon. So we play like every other year. We skip a year, so we haven't been back in 2 years. So we got a whole bunch of new material that we didn't play last time. Stuff like Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Mega Man, and new things we put in like Africa. And I think we're playing BioShock tomorrow. We recently put in Uncharted 2 and Assassin's Creed 2 and a whole bunch of new stuff. So yeah, it's exciting.
So that's going to be great, and
Cool.
I'll definitely be there.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
Rock
you.
on.